How's it
Hey,
going, everybody?
hey,
How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the Body Slam TNA post show. I'm joined always by my good buddy Ayo. How you doing, man?
doing good, man. Can't complain. Very, very calm, peaceful, pleasant. Week. Uh, we just had the Rumble. A lot of talks, a lot of AJ Styles talk. Rightfully so, given he's a franchise this brand. Um, don't know where that leads, but besides that, yeah, had a good time. Had a good uh had a very good pleasant day. Yeah. TNA, you can always rely. I know it's kind of crazy saying to some at certain times when you're going through like a certain day or whatnot, you can always rely on a Thursday night impact to kind of soothe the day out. How about you, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Get ready for like you said, we were talking before the show. Get ready for the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, yeah. Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
You know,
That's
you know,
always
it's,
like,
it's ironic. Like we have two, uh, we have two guys on the roster who not only played in the NFL but also played the opposing teams this Sunday. Um, Francis was with the Seahawks, I believe, and then Moose was with the Patriots at one point in their careers. You know what I'm
mhm.
saying? Yeah, how crazy is that?
That is interesting. You know what I mean. And
Yeah,
that's the cool little tie-in. You know what I mean. Obviously, I go into this week, especially with those two teams. Yeah, no,
yeah,
like I was like we were talking about too. Just like yeah, just get ready for the game. You know what I mean. Like it's always even if like you're not into football, I am, but like it's you know what I mean. Everyone kind of comes together on that day. You know what I mean. It's like a big eating day.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. It's gonna be busy in my household this weekend.
Yeah, same. What do you think of tonight's show? Before we like go segment by segment, what you just think of the overall show?
Yeah, so I was just looking at Draven, our good buddy Draven, and he's kind of
Mm,
pretty much saying what I'm saying, like wasn't really expecting much, but this kind of like blew expectation. This was a really good show. Like from the good wrestling until like the shocking and then interesting storytelling. We'll get into one match that I think blew expectations is the mixed tag match with Elijah and Jada Stone, and we're going to talk a lot about Jada Stone
yeah.
later. But yeah, besides that, I think it was a very good show. And I mentioned this in our group chat. I think right now TNA kind of finally found their niche on this with this new AMC move. Like every Thursday matters, or every Thursday there's something happening that you got to see. And then of course you got the plus specials. I mean, they're always going to deliver and stuff. But now they kind of like transition away where every Thursday you got to check out TNA Impact, and I think that's great. Like that's the way how it is. Like the Thursdays matter, and of course the plus specials and pay per views. How about you, man? How'd you feel?
Uh, I kind of looked at each show so far in the AMC area like differently. Obviously, after the first show, they really needed to kind of prove that they could bounce back from that kind of shit show the first week was. I think the third week was kind of to prove that whether it was sustainable or not. And I think tonight was just what like just like you said, wasn't expecting much, but what a weekly show will kind of like look like from them going forward, like product wise, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So obviously there's a pay-per-view next week and we're gonna get a go home show and it'll be interesting to see kind of like the first go home show. Well, we technically have had one before within the AMC area, but this will be like the second one. It is a plus special, but we did get 4 matches
yeah,
announced and we're going to talk about them. But yeah, no, I thought this was a very good, very solid show, top to bottom.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So did you? So we'll just talk about Tuesday. Big week for the Elegance brand. They not only tonight, but they also defended their tag titles in against Soruka, Zara and Soruka. Yeah, yeah. Very competitive one there. good talented team too, and Zarya too. Did you catch the match by any chance, or no?
I caught the highlights of it. I thought it was in a lot of the match. It's I caught a lot of the highlights actually, and what to me, while the Elegance brand did get the win, it seemed like obviously, and since it's in NXT, it was more about tensions kind of continuing with Zarya and Sol Ruka. You know what I mean? It looked like obviously miscommunication again for her is hitting a soul snatcher on Zarya. Yeah, like, and it's good. I'm kind of excited for them to break up because from my standpoint, even though obviously Soul I think is the higher up in terms of the like who they see right now in the future, I was really impressed with Zarya's match with Lay when we got it a few weeks ago. So I'm hoping to see more of her in action. So where the spotlight's more on her. So yeah.
Yeah, she's one to definitely keep an eye on. I was very impressed with the title match she had on Genesis. Yeah. But
Same.
yeah.
Before we get into the show, and we kind of just talk about like I kind of want to bring something up. I forget who put it out. Oh, well, it's kind of mentioned earlier in the week, and a lot of the outlets were talking about it, but how AEW is like looking to sign more talent. And it was just kind of funny how like everyone's reacting to it, because my first thing is, and then I think it was announced like especially in the women's division, and I first kind of just chuckled because I'm like, man, the roster is very stacked as it is, and then I'm thinking about it like, and a couple weeks ago, I was really like kind of complaining about TNA still kind of to make signings, but it kind of really hit me that during that Jada Stone match, I think we might be kind of set because they're quickly developing these people faster than I thought. Like, and I can't wait to get into it, but I thought they made an absolute star tonight. You know what I mean? And I think all the credit goes to her. But yeah, I'm honestly kind of the point now where maybe a few, maybe one or two, but it really doesn't matter to me. I think this roster is kind of complete. You know what I mean?
I will say it's how do I put this? It's a 160. It's like a complete 360 compared to what it was last year. Because Jordan left, Tessa just came in. Now we're seeing some talents that are kind of like rising up. Some current talent kind of boosting up their stocks, like the Jody Threats, Danny Lunas. They're now kind of boosting their own single stock. Zaya Brookside, she's she just got the pin. She just got the pin tonight too. She's doing well. Of course, the champion Lee, along with the new additions, Elena Black, Indy Hartwell, proving herself and stuff. I mean, I wouldn't say it's complete. I mean, obviously we could still add more, but like we have everyone stands out right now. I think, and of course, obviously, the Elegance brand, they're on a roll. Everyone stands out. So I think that's what's great. Like everyone stands out. Everyone doesn't feel like a filler, so to speak, in my opinion. Like, and of course, we have some potential new additions. This Rachel Lee girl who just faced Tessa too. I mean, I thought she was a little impressive. But yeah, one thing you can always count on, TNA is always gonna put the women's division, knockouts division, always in the center, give them the enough attention and spotlight, which is something that WWE and AEW still need to learn to at times. Like, you guys do 2-hour shows, like, well, one does 3-hour, like the other does 2-hour, and you can't like give enough equal time for the woman. Like, come on now.
Yeah. What I'll add though, Ayo, and kind of to make a sports reference, and I agree with completely what you said. Like TNA definitely does, and I'll swing it back around. TNA does more with 2 hours of live TV than I would say AEW was with 4 when it comes to the women's division.
What? Sorry. Speaking of which, Tessa herself just tweeted, to her opponent Rachel, talented, charismatic, athletic. You will be a great addition to the Knockouts. Wow, that's a high praise right there.
I thought they made her look very good tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I like I was saying, they do more with for the women in 2 hours than AEW does with 4 hours of TV. But to make like a sports analogy, and I'll bring it back to football, TNA really hits on their lower end like signings. You know what I mean? Like when for example, in the NFL, teams usually get 7 draft picks, and to hit on people in like the 5th and 6th and 7th round, like not every team does that. I think TNA really does that, well. And like Mila and Jada, who are really virtually unknown to me, I know people they're known. I mean, to me, I wasn't too familiar with them. They have come in, and Jada tonight especially, they're looking like TNA really has hit on them. So yeah, like you said, kudos to TNA on kind of really
snatching
finding
them.
gems. Yeah.
I will say I want one more thing. I will say I'm impressed with Mila. The two, obviously the 2 women they required back in Philly. Jada and Mila. At the time, the attention was going towards Jada because she's the more skilled. No offense, out of the 2, but but Mila, she's been coming her own. Like I think putting her in the Diamond Collective was a good idea to kind of get some of that Tessa shine on her too. So so. But to sum up, I mean, the division, is still growing, but we're on a good spot. So.
Agreed, completely agreed. Yeah, I just kind of want to touch on that because when I saw that tweet and just everyone talking about it, I was like, wow, everyone obviously we can make the lazy jokes of WCW in the 90s with how 300 people sign. I don't think AEW has 300 people sign. I don't think it's that bloated, but it is just funny. They do seem to have a lot of people, so for them to kind of announce like that they're targeting more, it just made me laugh. Okay, before we get into tonight's show, I just want to remind everyone this week's podcast is sponsored by Shroom Bar, the protein mushroom bar. It's made up of not psychedelics, but 4 powerful mushroom adaptogens. It has lion's mane, which increases focus, memory, neuroplasticity, making it easier to form new patterns, learn new things. Next time you're trying to learn that new move, it might actually stick in your head rather than forgetting it immediately. It has cordyceps, which increases VO2 max. It has blood flow and overall endurance. It has reishi, which decreases stress. It has turkey tail, which boosts your immune system. We all know you're going to need that when you're in those nasty ass gym mats. On top of that is 12 grams of protein. Go to eatshroombar.com and use code BODYSLAM at checkout for 25% off your first order. Okay, let's get into the show tonight, and I love it. Again, we're starting right off with a match, and that's how you should open up with a weekly TV show. I don't need to have a 15-minute interview in the ring segment that just drags on. And again, talking about people I'm not too familiar with, this was Trey Miguel taking on Adam Brooks. And am I getting his name right, Ayo?
Adam Brooks, yeah.
I think I've seen like maybe a handful of matches of his. I haven't seen him in a while, but I thought they gave this guy a lot, and he's definitely somebody I would like to see TNA kind of take a flyer on, and if they haven't already, you know what I mean. It seems like the guys and women they use frequently, they kind of eventually will bring them in. But what'd you think about this? I love this match.
Yeah, this is a good opener. I like that they have Trey opening too because he's riding on some momentum coming back to the company. Adam Brooks, yeah, I'm familiar with him. He was in he was a part of the Australia shows that they were doing a couple years back.
Okay.
Yeah, very very big. No, not big looking guy, but similar height. But he's also a muscle looking guy. Very impressive too. He was also on the MLW show tonight too. Interesting. So yeah, he's been a name flowing around as far as like Australian talent, and the Aussie talent. I mean, you got a lot of Australian talent killing it right now. The Bronsons, the Rias, the Buddy Murphys, the Grayson Wallers, of course, Indy and stuff. So yeah, he would fit right in. But I was very impressed with his match with Trey. Also, near the bigger picture is Ariana Grace was on commentary. I don't know, basically keep scouting, potentially Stax' opponent and stuff. But yeah, it was a good opener for Trey.
It's funny that you mentioned Ariana Grace, and we're gonna get more into her later, but it was kind of confirmed to me. But yeah, just there were little notes of her still being kind of a heel on commentary. You know what I mean? Like I know, as it would seem, she's trying to make up with her father Santino, but it still seems like she's heel. So yeah, but this was a fun match. I like the final combo Trey hit, and then Trey finishing with the spiral tap. I mean, not the spiral tap, but kind of wrote it down. I forget the name of the move off the top of my head right now, but yeah, this was a good win, good match to open up the show. This is how you should open up the show.
Mm-hmm. And then of course,
sorry, the lightning spiral.
Oh yeah. And then of course, yeah, after the match, the international champ Stax, came and attacked Trey. Of course, Ariana apparently didn't approve that. Are you really buying? All right, let's just get this out of the way. Are you really buying this whole, "Oh, I'm sorry, Daddy," and da da da? Blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to be good.
Well, not after she basically kind of guilted her way into a title shot. Basically, I was dying how she just so quickly is oh, how you missed my Sweet 16 when you were in Australia for a pay-per-view. I was like, okay, so, but what I would find funny, and I can't believe I'm putting this into the universe. It would be interesting if Stax loses his title and Ariana is able to defeat Lay, because it was announced that Ariana will get a title shot at No Surrender. That would be very fun. Well, it wouldn't be funny because I would be pissed, but a turn of events.
Yeah. Seems like Trey's cashing in his shot, No Surrender too. I mean, well, I'll just get it out the way because I don't know if we're gonna talk about Ariana again. So I feel like this is a way to kind of just wrap this up, get both of them off the screen, because I mean, they're I don't know if you pay attention to NXT. It seems like they're gonna be doing something between them and Lexis King and Uriah Connors. I don't know if you heard him, the son of son of Finley. Yeah, David Finley's brother, but also son of Finley. So it seems like they're going to be doing something on NXT. So he doesn't need to be on TNA. So kill two birds with one stone. You know what I'm saying? So what's also interesting because Daria Ray, the suit, doesn't seem to like the fact that Ariana's getting a title shot. And if they played her cards right storyline, I think this is going to be a way to kind of, for her to convince the board, this is a little favoritism what Santino's doing. Basically, Daria's trying to come after Santino's job, and I think she can make a good case for this one. So.
Yeah, this is evidence for her for a takeover. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She used this. Yeah, just Santino making questionable decisions. Obviously, it starts right here. Big one. He gives his daughter a title shot. Didn't have to earn it. Yeah, I completely agree. I think this is that's where we're going. Where basically Daria has taken over.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, we're going to get into what I thought was actually a very interesting promo, because it was funny because not only for Indy apparently being able to understand Chinese, we did not know that. But Lay always just kind of makes Zaya laugh. I don't know. They have really good chemistry, but this was a fun promo.
Yeah, I love the chemistry. Indy being paired with them, they have some good chemistry, and I guess some Australians they can understand Chinese too, apparently. So this was them hyping up for their six knockouts tag match tonight. And Laying Lee's English is getting very good. Don't you agree?
Yeah,
I'm glad they're at least letting her speak English more and stuff.
And it's not even about that. Just because that is awesome. for one, like I don't even think that should ever be a demand. You know what I mean? Like let people cut promos in their language, you know, that they're most like used to speaking. But it's more to me just how much really they're invested in her. Like NXT, you know what I mean? I only saw her on TV like a few times, and she was there for years. What it felt like. So yeah, TNA is really getting behind her, which is really cool to see.
Yeah.
Okay, next we're gonna move into and I stepped out, so you're gonna have to help me with this one because I came right back in and I didn't even know who these guys were. It was the Righteous versus two guys. I didn't even see the second guy. I felt like it was such a quick squash match. Did you get the names of these guys?
Let me find out real quick. Oh, here we go. Tommy Two Scoops and TW3.
Okay, yeah, this was a quick one, man. They really made the Righteous look well. Yeah, they pretty much just went out there and went through these guys.
This guy looking like if Dennis Rodman became a wrestler. I should have tweeted that. Yeah, this is if you got watch the match. This is Dennis Rodman if he becomes a wrestler, folks. So yeah, very short match and stuff. Mostly Dutch. Actually, yeah, this is kind of like a quick showcase match for the Righteous and stuff. I was impressed with Dutch because the big guy, he's carrying another big guy around and stuff. But yeah, very quick and go. None really to say much. But yeah, some of their tag moves. The Dennis Rodman looking like I mentioned, tried his best, but then didn't. And then Vincent with the dancing. Then they did their tag move and stuff, and that was about it. But yeah, the bigger picture was once again the Righteous trying to plead their case to Matt and Jeff that like they want to work with them, like they don't want to fight them, blah blah, blah and stuff. Basically, kind of like build a friendship or sort of an alliance. And of course, Matt and Jeff, they're still not really kind of feeling on that, but based on the match that was made at No Surrender, which we'll get into later, it's going to be a very interesting test. So to see how that bond goes, but yeah, that was kind of about a short match for the Righteous. Did you catch what happened backstage with the Hardys and the
yes, and real quick though, yeah, every time the Righteous are in there, like I'm really just kind of like watching Dutch because he's one of those athletic big man. You know what I mean? I would love to see him in matches against like Moose or Bear. But yeah, I did catch the end. And speaking of Bear, yeah, the Hardys kind of answered back to the Righteous, but to me, I no disrespect to them, I could give a shit about that because to me, this was more about the system coming in. And I loved how they had Bear Bronson take out Jeff in the background and then just kind of come in and then you see Eddie with the briefcase. I love this version of the system, man. They're mean, you know what I mean? Again, they got younger. I love this group already. So yeah, this is a good segment. Them taking out the Hardys. They're just going after everyone, it seems.
Yeah. I'm digging this new system already. Just causing havoc and stuff.
Right now, if you could pick right now, because I know who I have it in my head, which two from the system would you put the tag team titles on?
Myers and Bronson. Because they both Myers trained them, and I like to see kind of how that pairing goes.
I like that. I would slightly go just alter a little bit, and I would go Bear and Cedric, just because you know what I mean. Like those guys is the two young guys of the group, trying to get them over the most. But yeah, no, I do like the connection, especially you mentioned that. I keep forgetting that of Bear and Myers. So
yeah, Myers' best work is always a tag wrestler. So
yeah,
and yeah,
agreed.
And Cedric is better as a single, so that's what I figured.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, next we're gonna move into what I thought was always an entertain. Frankie Kazarian is always entertaining. You know what I mean? Just him automatically going to, his hand was hurt. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't 100% in that match. Cop out. You know what I mean? Just already trying to plant the seeds of him wanting another rematch. But this was, I like how it really was less about that because it really just led to the next match. But from what it was from what the part where Kazarian was out there, what'd you think about just his segment?
Yeah, very same old Frankie, talking down to the crowd and whatnot and stuff. I'm glad he did. I mean, he gave Santana his props, and stuff. I'm glad that he mentioned that he did actually suffered an arm injury during the ironically the Bronson match a couple weeks ago, but still pulled it through and was able to kind of had those 2 matches with Santana and stuff. So yeah, that's one tough sob Frankie Kazarian is. So yeah. You mentioned he had a chat with Daria, and apparently we're gonna wait and find out what kind of talks he had. So, and of course, another chance to run down Santino. So, yeah. So, yeah, Daria got another supporter in Kazarian. So, over there. But thankfully Elijah interrupted that, all that, and just like get straight to the match.
What's interesting is that, and I'm just kind of like starting to put 2 and 2 together because it obviously seems like if it wasn't more already, like this Maclin thing is obviously there's something going on, like it's a storyline based. But I saw earlier in the week that like Maclin put out a picture of him, I think having a beer with Kazarian, and like he had like a weird tagline about like something with your enemy or something like that, if I'm remembering right. And so to see like maybe something going on with him and Maclin, and then obviously Daria Ray now, this could be like all part of again her trying to take over TNA. You know what I mean, so to speak.
Yeah.
So this is very interesting.
Yeah, and like you notice, she was there too. Daria, she was there too on NXT Tuesday. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's intentionally, but I think she's trying to win favors from a lot of the heel wrestlers.
Yeah.
Their way of kind of getting Santino out of there, but we'll see.
And wouldn't it be interesting too if like if the cleanse is involved with this as well?
I'll be surprised.
Okay. Next we're gonna move into how UFC's got match of the night, performance of the night. Well, I would give both of those awards if TNA had those, and the bonus to Jada Stone in this match. Holy shit! I think she made her money tonight. She had is an overnight sensation in TNA now. You know what I mean? This is a star. But it was Mustafa Ali and Tasha Steelz taking on Elijah and Jada Stone. Like I said, and this was the match of the night as well. This was wall to wall action. You know what I mean? From Ali just being the top heel that he is, Elijah continuing to just look great after what I thought was a pretty big injury, and also just overall him just finding his home in TNA. I think Tasha Steelz looked really good, but like I said, the moment it became Elijah was taken out, by order 4, and Jada Stone, it was Jada Stone taking on Ali by herself, and just really not only taking him out, basically taking out all of Order 4 at one point. Oh man, this was awesome. Like I said, she's a star.
Yeah, this was my favorite match of the night.
Yep.
As I mentioned, blue expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Jada Stone, yeah, Jada Stone,
Stone,
yeah.
okay.
She's one, yeah, she's one to keep an eye on, and I think they gotta keep featuring her more going forward because she not only she took the fight to Tasha, but also she took the fight to Mustafa. Like she was all over both of them. Like did most of the work for the team. No offense to Elijah, but like yeah. Yeah. I'm really I'm really glad that I'm really glad they brought her over, and like I think this is a good way to kind of at least kind of remind folks or so about her, and or at least get introduced to, because not many people know about her. So, and also it's good seeing Tasha back in the ring too, besides being the manager and whatnot stuff. Oh, and just now AWN 415, mentioned, TNA ain't shy away from intergender wrestling, especially the WWE partnership. Well, I mean, because like, this kind of shows TNA is still its own thing and stuff, and like they're in my opinion they're the only national company out there that does intergender wrestling right, and you
Mhm.
can't argue on that. So yeah, this was, like you said, this was very good throughout. Yeah, Jada was doing most of the work. Elijah did his best to kind of deal with the rest of the order four and whatnot, and very good until up towards the end. Of course, Mustafa, you know, hitting using Elijah's move on Jada for insult to injury and stuff, and then them get order four again in the window too. But yeah, fun match. No losers there in my opinion. Everyone showed out here. What did you think of this match?
Yeah, this is a perfect example of when, even though the person that is part of the team that lost the match, I think Jada got over 100 times. You know what I mean? Like this was a coming out party in terms of, I think they need to really up the booking of her now and really start pushing her. Again, they need to start. They need to find a way to. I don't expect them to get a second hour of TV on like AMC, or obviously it could happen with Access, maybe, but they really need to step up their presentation of Explosion, since that is basically their second show, because they need to get her more rep. Like, well, it's not like she needs. I'm saying she needs to be on TV more. We need to see more of her.
Absolutely.
But I'll
Or more explosion matches. I mean, for those that even watched Explosion, basically just kind of like keep her busy, because she's
exactly
one of those that I mentioned before. She can wrestle like an X Division wrestler of some sort. But
agreed.
I would definitely recommend this mixed tag if you guys haven't watched it already.
And I would also add, just going back to Ali, the heel continue to be a great heel. You mentioned it, using Elijah's move. This was a good match, and again, everyone looked good. I again, but to me, Jada Stone was a star. So
Yeah,
give her the
yeah,
5 bonus.
yeah.
Okay.
Jada Stone was a star here.
Yeah, exactly.
And it also furthers the more into this Elijah Mustafa feud, because we can actually see her help Elijah. I mean, depending where else this feud's going to, but yeah.
And again, it's another example of just a feud that didn't need a belt,
Exactly.
to on the line to make you care. There's a lot of heat to this, and again, it's not been going too long, because again, it's still really interesting. It's red hot to me. So
Shout out to Mustafa too. Like you mentioned,
do that's work.
he everything they've gave him, feuds, tag matches or whatnot, like is always deliver. Like he is I know Santana won Wrestler of the Year, but Mustafa. You got to give MVP of the year to Mustafa, and tonight was a prime example of that.
Yep.
So
Okay, next we're gonna move into the segment we kind of talked about earlier. It was just Ariana and Santino backstage, and it first started talking about her and Stacks, but then it kind of, like, again, we somehow got moved into her wanting a title shot, and I was surprised more that Santino like bought it, and then again he accomplished that, he got her one. So this is interesting. You know what I mean? Again, she definitely seems like a heel to me.
I'm just waiting. Knowing Santino, like by like the way he knows his daughter, I would hope like he's just not buying it. I would hope, but Yeah. Hopefully this wraps up soon. Talk about Stacks and Ariana. No offense to them.
Yeah.
And yeah, Daria Ray is just gonna see this as another opportunity to let the board know, like, Santino, his decisions are too personal and blah blah, and he's not fit for blah blah and all that stuff. So
To answer AWN 415, do they give Ariana the belt?
hell no.
No, God, no, I hope not. But angle wise, I could see TNA doing that to kind of, you know what I mean? I could see them thinking it would pop, pop a rating, but also I could see people saying that's TNA being TNA. So I hope not.
Yeah.
Okay, next we're gonna move into just a quick segment where we got Daria Ray announcing some matches for No Surrender. We get Trey Miguel versus Stax for the national championship. We get the Hardys and the Righteous versus Order 4. We we got
Okay.
Mike
Yeah.
Santana later taking on Nick Nemeth and Eddie Edwards, which should be very interesting. We also
Yeah.
got CM, but this
Oh,
is
sorry,
what do you
sorry.
say?
Oh no, sorry. I don't know if I don't think I don't think folks caught that. Yeah, Leon Slater is back, guys. Teaming with Santana against Nemeth and Edwards.
That should be very interesting.
Yeah.
But this is where, again, part two. Santino just walks up, and it was just so like, oh, I'm going to announce another match. And I always exactly what you talked about. Daria pointed out quickly to point it out, like, this is nepotism at its finest. You know what I mean? Like, she called out that bullshit real quick. And that's when I think I'm with you now that I'm seeing the vision. I think this is the way that they kind of write both of them out.
Mm-hmm.
But then what was interesting, they're talking, and in the background you see Steve Maclin, and again, this kind of further cements it, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, this is another highlight of the show. Yeah, we got to get into it.
He's talking, looks like he's saying goodbye, and Dari questions why he's there. Santino says he's a company, you know what I mean? He's done a lot for TNA. But then you see Santana and Maclin start talking. You know what I mean? They say their goodbyes. Maclin kind of Santana kind of talks about he was like the first one, I think, like to meet Santana when he first, or welcome him back. But then Santana sees him off, but Macklin's got that look on his eyes. He doesn't go out the door, and he attacks Santana. And man, this might obviously not only is this what in my head this is a work, but this return is the return of heel Steve Maclin. And before I let you go, let me just say, I'm a big Ali fan, and I want Ali to win the world title. But if this leads back to Steve Maclin being world champion, I'm not gonna hate on it. You know what I mean? If this is where we're going, I'm fine with it.
It just proves that our heavyweight division is just getting more and more stacked and more steam. Yeah, I mean, I won't fault you there. It just kind of proves how stacked it is. But yeah, for the past few days, everybody's been kind of wondering. Everybody's been kind of wondering, was this legit? Like, is Maclin really leaving? Blah blah blah. To say the least, I think we kind of got our answer there. So I'll just leave it at that. But yeah. They did. They caught it. They caught us by surprise. I was looking at Michael's eyes. He was a little teared up, like uh, pouring his love out to his company and all the the blood, sweat, and tears he poured out and stuff and da da da. And yeah, he hit all the right notes for like a farewell promo, as he should. And Macklin's not really an emotional guy too, so it really kind of hits a real new feel. I mean, like he's not really shows this type of emotion. So, and as he was about to walk out, yeah, he crossed paths with Santana. Santana gives him some words of encouragement and da da da. I'm glad that Mike run back the night that Santana came back. He did face Maclin, and since then there's always been kind of mutual respect up until now. Of course, he had Maclin attacked him from behind. Thought this was good, very unexpected. Nobody, and I promise you, nobody saw this coming or even predicted it. not even our buddy Mike Gilbert even predicted this. But
I didn't see
yeah,
this coming either, but this is hot right now. This is picking up steam quick.
yeah,
So let's keep it
yeah.
going. Exactly.
So yeah, it just puts a little interest of sort of like, okay, what's gonna happen now? Sorry, like it does add a little interest because like Santana, he has multiple targets on his back. Like
Mhm.
he's still got to deal with Nimitz in the Collier shot. Eddie Edwards has a feast or fire case. Now he got to deal with that, and then of course he's not going to let that slide. Getting attacked from behind by Steve. So we'll get to later. We'll get to Santana later more stuff. But yeah, this segment was very good, very good.
Mhm. Agreed. Agreed. Okay, next we're gonna just move into, again, I wouldn't call this a squash match, or like an enhancement match. It was Tessa Blanchard taking on Rachel Lee. Yeah, Tessa won, but I thought they gave Rachel Lee a lot in this. Again, it wasn't a quick match, but this was. I mean, it was a quick match, but again, they gave her a lot. And again, Tessa's a great heel, but this was good. I hope Rachel Lee's someone that they're able to keep long term.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully they keep her on our radar.
Mhm.
Conspicuous by his absence, thank goodness, is Robert Stone, who's now the I don't know if now the interim NXT general manager. So guess he got his hands full. I guess we won't be seeing him
Yeah,
on TV. But never say
that's
never. But
good.
that's I mean, yeah, you get what I mean. You get what I mean.
That's good.
So yeah, yeah. So yeah, this was a good showcase for Tessa, obviously, but good showcase for the newcomer. Uh, I'm sorry. Rachel Lee. How do you rate Rachel Lee?
Rachel
This
Lee, Rachel
Rachel
Lee.
Lee.
Yeah,
Sorry. Yeah, Rachel
I
Lee.
think
Yeah,
so.
she had a good showing and stuff. This is to what kind of like keep establishing not only Tessa's status, but also her faction too. Like along with the Elegance brand, we also have the Diamond Collective. Some nice factions within this Knockouts division too. So it's pretty cool.
Okay, next we're gonna move into basic I think, yeah, our buddy again Draven pointed out this was basically Mara Sade doing the Mr. Perfect stuff from back in the like 90s. You know what I mean? She's throwing the football and catching it herself.
Yeah,
You know
that
what I
was
mean? Like
yeah.
she at the end she does a trick shot by super kicking Ryan, and then the basketball bounces off him and goes into in the basket. This was so funny. And again, you want to talk about all the knockouts getting love tonight. Again, Mara Sade, they're continuing to make this woman look like a star, the star that she is. But this was so fun.
Yeah. No, I'm glad they're still you know at first I was against like just continuing this this feud with her and Ryan, but I think based on this segment, I was at least I can understand now. Like they're kind of like building towards next week's Albuquerque street fight, so that should be interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
for Ryan, the most nepo baby butthurt guy on the roster, upset about the super kicks, upset about Mara stealing his spotlight, and apparently now he's gonna be upset that Mara can play football better than him. So yeah.
This is the
So
kind of fun stuff that makes wrestling fun, though. You know what I mean? And like,
yeah,
yeah, like I agree with you. Yeah, this is Ryan, man. He knows how to be his character, man.
yeah,
So this is, I can't wait for next week for that one.
yeah.
Okay, next we're gonna move into this. To me, this segment, the only thing I was thinking of, we just had a quick segment with Eric Young and BDE. The only thing I thought of Io was like, man, Eric Young's not a short guy, but BDE was taller than him, man. This guy puts on some size, man. You know what I mean? He could be a star. But yeah, let's just be Eric Young trying to talk about the cleanse. It didn't seem like Eric BDE was buying it, so I think we're going to get Eric Young versus BDE next week, and if not next week, eventually. But this was fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, EY. Being the paranoid, maniac he is. Apparently, yeah, trying to convince BDE about basically trying to make BDE an offer, and BDE wasn't buying it or whatnot. So we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah, this is a fine statement. It was whatever. Okay. Next, we're gonna get into, in my head, I was like, tell everyone shut the hell up. It was time. It was the Elegance brand taking on Langley. Goddamn. It's Brookside, Indy Hartwell. And this was the return of Ash by Elegance, her making her return. And let me just say, before the match started, just Ray Walt's commentary, Iceman on the mic introducing them, the addition of Mr. Elegance, who he just plays his role so well. Yeah, he's like Lex Luger in the narcissist role. You know what I mean? It's all about himself. Someone needs to hold a mirror for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The whole presentation was great. And then obviously the Elegance brand coming out in their Breaking Bad inspired gear. And I even thought the nice touch, they had like little small baggies. You know what I mean? Like they were doing, that was hilarious. All yellow. This was great. You know what I mean? This match might not have been the best, but I thought everyone was good in this match. And the Elegance brand is like the perfect faction just in terms of like another thing I can point out. I'm not saying they're the best. I'm not saying Ash is the best, but you have Ash surrounding herself with two great young workers in Maggie and Heather who are really good for how little they've been in this business. I thought and Zaya as well. This was a fun match.
Yeah. You heard what Hannafin called Ray Wall during that entrance?
What?
The team of Walter White.
Yeah. Dude, Hannafin was killing me all night, especially when he goes, "What does Mr. Elegance do?" He's like, they took a security guard or whatever. They gave him some science experiment. You know what I mean? He's like, "What is?" And all he's like, all he does out here is peacocking. I was like, dude, Hannafin was killing me all night, especially this match.
Yeah. Continue.
No, I was going to say they may not have won, but obviously they were able to get their heat back at the end with the beatdown. And yeah, this faction, again, they're firing on all cylinders. But what were you saying?
I was going to say, Hannafin and Ray Wall, they always have great chemistry.
Yeah.
So, you're spot on. It was good to have Ash back. I'm glad that she took I'm glad she did some selling and some bumps during this match too. We were all worried. I know you were worried like that. Like if this medical condition was very serious and stuff, but I'm glad she kind of overcame that. And yeah, she has a great team behind her. With M and Heather. Shout out to them too. Again for the performance there on Tuesday. And they're killing it too on the indies. You gotta check out their stuff on the indies. Yep. Yeah. This is a great group. They had a good match. Shout out to everyone in this match, including Zaya, the champ, and Indy. They're the baby faces. They're the baby faces on the opposing side, so they kind of had to level up. With these with this narcissist group, trying to, think they're better than them and stuff. And then, so I thought Heather and them did some good showing too. But yeah, also Ash did some selling too, which was good. But this was good. This was a good one. Everyone shined. And I'm glad that Zaya Brooks got the pin here too. Kind of put a little seeds in there that she just pinned one half of the Knockouts Tag Champ, so possibly down the line, Angel Warriors might get a tag title shot. Who knows?
Yeah, and again, I like that would be fine to me. And if that's where we're going, because we've always kind of thought that I don't mind putting two titles on Lay. You know what I mean? Because the Angel Warriors, I thought the long term goal was going to be them being knockouts champions. But yeah, this was good. The roll up from Zai looked really clean in the end, really smooth. Yeah, this was a good match. Okay, next we're gonna move into the main event promo point of the portion of the night. It was Mike Santana coming out, and he's kind of just basically addressing the whole thing with Steve Maclin. And you know what? Again, part whatever you want to say that this is a storyline. If this doesn't end with basically Steve Maclin, the title and his job on the line, and him not walking out the title or something in the variation of that, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's where we're going, because Santana basically laid out the challenge and said, don't stab him in the back, stab him in the front, or something like that. But like, it basically seemed like we're heading toward a title match at some point.
It'll be interesting how we get to that route. It'll be interesting, yeah. Because Macklin's gonna be someone who has nothing to lose and stuff. Because none to lose. You don't know what to expect, especially if we didn't expect that attack or so.
Yeah, and no, I'm still shocked on that, because what they're doing right now with Maclin, again, it's got me intrigued. You know what I mean? Like, I've already sunk my teeth into it. I'm invested. And Mike Santana finished what he was saying, and we get the system out again. And again, you talk about the main event being stacked, man. Main event scene being stacked. Like, this group is already, they're in the mix everywhere. You know what I mean? They got their hands in everything, and the Hardys tried to come out and help them, and it really didn't matter. The X factor was the returning Moose coming out and getting revenge on all of Order for the system. Man, looking great out there. I'm interested to see what matches we get. Obviously that dream one would be Moose versus Bear Bronson. That's going to be a banger when we get that one, if we get it, which I'm hoping we get. But this is a good way to end the show. This was a fucking great show. And then in a hot angle. What more do you want? I'm expecting a big number again.
Yeah. The show was already going well, and this was a great way to kind of put a bow on it. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. And again, like we said, that this might have been like a down week in terms of like stuff happening, but I think stuff happened on this show, and we're rolling into a really exciting go home next week.
Yeah.
Go home show next week, followed by No Surrender.
Like last week was very good, with the street fight and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I figured I didn't think this one would actually kind of top it, but maybe wrestling match wise, I guess you could say that's for another discussion or so. But I think from the overall show format, I think this one kind of did well too. So yeah, you're right, man. Like TNA right now, I mentioned this earlier. TNA found their niche with these Thursday episodes. Like, every Thursday, there's always going to be something they gotta keep your eyes on and stuff. And then, of course, you got leading up to the plus specials and pay-per-views. So.
They found a really good formula right now with the way that they're structuring the shows. Yeah. So, you start and end with a really solid match. Obviously, a match didn't end this night, but it was an angle, and it's a high angle, because there's a lot of moving parts in it. So, yeah, this was really exciting. Another good show. Again, 2 weeks. Two back-to-back nights of TNA next week. Go home show and No Surrender on Friday. I'm very excited. Overall, I'm giving this show, again, this is like 8.9, 9 out of 10 for me again. Home run.
Yeah. Home run.
Okay, with that being said, what were you saying now?
I was gonna say, I think next week's the go home show. I think they're gonna have a special. Considering, probably the system against Moose, the Hardys, and Santana. Because usually when brawls like that happen, like a match is gonna be made. So,
Yeah,
but yeah,
I
the
can
go
see
home
that.
show next week should be fun. Oh yeah, it's sorry, sorry about that. For the first time ever, it's Nick Nemeth going up against Rich Swann. That should be very very interesting.
Yeah, because Rich Swann's having an absolute resurgence. I hope this guy's sticking around, especially after that main event, which everyone's talking about that main event. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I think that main event in last week's show was, I'm seeing a lot of praise, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Compared to like a lot of
yeah.
people being down on TNA. So,
Having someone like Swan be like the workhorse, TV workhorse, is a great thing. Like,
yep, yep.
yeah. And of course we have Mara Sade and Ryan Nemeth. Hopefully for the last time, an Albuquerque street fight. That should be.
Hmm. That
Yeah,
should
I
be
mean,
fun.
Interjet. I'm sure Interjet Wrestling draws in some shape or
Yep.
form. Yeah,
It does because you know you're right. I again I expect another week next week to be another solid number again. So
yeah,
obviously this week as well.
yeah.
But I want I want to thank Io for joining me as always. It's always great to talk TNA with him. I want to thank everyone for joining us in the chat. Thanks everyone for watching. I want to remind everyone to make sure you guys like and subscribe this video, but also like and subscribe by sign that we get notified when we go live or whenever the many talented people there go live. And with that being said, we'll see you all next week and have a good night.
Peace.